kicking off season 2 of Deposit That podcast. This episode is sponsored by Town Title Agency, #1 commercial and residential title agency in New Jersey. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. We have a special guest today. I'm super excited about it as we kick off season 2. I really wanted to bring impactful guests on that can help educate people, help maybe people get into a new career, a new passion, new level of interest, as well as be inspired and motivated during a time where, we could all say the last 9 months have been challenging. I like your mindset, like everything you post, like your content. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into it.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for being a guest. Yep.
I'm Rachel, your realtor on Instagram. I have been a realtor for almost 4 years now, and I'm absolutely loving everything about it.
Are you just saying that, or you actually do?
No, I really do.
Everything?
Everything,
Okay.
Yeah. I think mostly would be the interactions with people and meeting new people and, making new friendships would be it. But
you seem like a relationship-driven person.
I am, and I think that's kind of what I base my career on, is more so relationships and families and helping them instead of just at the end of the day it's just a number. That's not how I roll. That's not how I want to roll. I know a lot of people do, and that's okay. That's what they're driven by.
That's for them.
Yeah, but I solely just love making new relationships and helping people.
Have you always been that way since the day you started in real estate?
I think so, and I think it's been embedded in me to almost be that way.
I feel like you're very motherly and like nurturing. Am I right? I'm going to pick up things as you come.
Actually, yeah.
Like, how'd you know that? Like, I'm picking it up. Go ahead.
People say that. I actually have a background in family and child studies. Like, what I wanted to do was be a teacher and then be a social worker. So I think that there's definitely that characteristic within me. And I try to pull that out in everything I can, everything I do, just because I think it's easier that way. You're more helpful.
What took you off that course of what you wanted to do? Like childhood studies, is that what you said? Child studies, family studies?
Child studies.
Social work. What happened?
Well, honestly, originally I went to school, didn't know what I wanted to do. Like most people, you're clueless. You're in high school. They're forcing you to go to college. You almost feel like you need to go.
You don't want to leave your boyfriend, whatever.
But whatever the case may be. So I started out at Passaic County Community College and kind of figuring out my way. And then transferred to Montclair and thought teacher. And then I realized that I had to do another 2 years of college. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. So what's the next best thing? And then social work. And I went through my 4 years with that in college, and I did my internship at Oasis.
So you did 4 years of college?
Oh, yeah. I did my internship at Oasis, a haven for women and children in Patterson, and it was unbelievable.
Eye-opening.
Amazing, yes. And then, so after my internship, I graduated, started my grad school classes, and then realized this is just not for me. There's something else out there that I'm meant to do. And then...
Was it because of like what you saw or the challenges, or you just knew that it wasn't...
Yeah, I think I'm someone who can't just leave work at work.
You're an empath, 100%.
It comes home with me.
You feel it, yep.
And your pain is my pain, and that's pretty much... That's who I am, and I can't help it. It's I guess it's the mother in me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that was probably the one thing that triggered, the next step in my life. Like, what do I do next?
So then you transitioned right out of that into real estate?
No. So then I nannied. I continued nannying. That's what got me through college, literally. And it was an amazing family that I nannied for, and I'm still in touch with them. We've known each other for 11 years now. And it was the husband and wife who were like, why don't you go get your real estate license? And they said it to me quite a few times. And I just kept saying
Were they in
no.
real estate?
The husband, yes. A commercial real estate developer. But so I kept turning it down. Like, I don't want to, it's not for me, I don't think. And my mom was in real estate for over 25 years. And it just never clicked. And then finally I was like, all right, well, let me just try it, So I went to real estate school, during real estate school, I was working at a club in Clifton,
Like a nightclub?
a nightclub, and I was a bottle server.
All right.
And there I met Steve, who was a bartender, and Roxy, and a couple other people that actually we all intertwined in real estate, like just a year, later, whatever. So went to real estate school, then joined Star Real Estate, and the rest is history. I don't
Never
know.
look back.
Never look back, yeah. And that was almost 4 years ago. So it's like time flies, but
Even faster as you get older.
yeah. And then in the beginning of real estate, it's always a little bit scary, like you have all these high expectations. You see how well so many people are doing.
You're going to make $1 million in your first year.
Yeah, I'm going to
How easy it is.
be great. I'm going to be platinum,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. And then it's like, slowly it comes into reality where you're like, okay, this isn't just
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Sure.
This is, you need to work hard. You need to be a go-getter, and you need to really focus on your career and what you want, and that's it. So, and that's what I did,
What have been your biggest struggles early on, and what are your biggest struggles today? Is it competition? Was it knowledge? What have you experienced from a struggle standpoint as your career's evolved?
Mm-hmm. I think in the beginning of real estate, you have all this excitement that you're going to do really well, right? And then inevitably it becomes just this huge roller coaster that's a never-ending roller coaster, right? There's so many ups and downs. I think I was a realtor for 6 months before I had my first transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a part-time real estate agent at that time. So I wasn't fully committed. I wasn't 100% in yet, but I was nervous to take that leap. But then when I did take the leap, quit my job, and went 100% real estate, that's when I noticed things starting to shift and change. But I think in the very beginning, what was the most challenging was losing transactions,
Sucks, right?
and the feeling of defeat.
Yeah.
And it did suck.
Losses.
Yeah, because you're like, oh man, yeah, this great commission check.
I did everything great.
Yeah, everything worked out perfectly. I'm going to pay my bills now. And then all of a sudden it's dead. But very early on, I realized that this is what I signed up for. This is what real estate is. There's lots of ups and downs. There's going to be months where you make no money, and there's going to be months where you make a ton of money, and it's all about balance, I think, and trying to balance that. But that was definitely my biggest struggle in the beginning, was the feeling of defeat and trying to overcome that. Now, what's my biggest struggle?
Like, you seem like an honest, ethical person, right? So I feel like, knowing real estate, there are a lot of unethical, not honest people in it.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Because I feel like that could be like an adversity that you experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some shady people in the business.
Like, you submit a client's offer, and then like you never hear back from the listing agent, and then you see it goes into contract, let's say less than what your client's offer was, for example.
Yeah. Well, I'm huge on communication. I am someone that will respond back to you immediately, and if I'm not available, I will get back to you 100%. Like, that's my motto. So any agents that aren't like that, I don't know how they do
Tough,
business.
right? Yeah, tough.
It is tough. And it's like, you're trying to sell a home, I'm trying to get you a buyer, vice versa. How can there not be communication? So, I don't know what it is, but...
Do you think just people, this is in general, forget about real estate, I think it's the whole world. Do you think people just weren't taught how to communicate?
I don't know. Maybe people just don't know how. Maybe if they're a little bit older, they're not so tech savvy as we are, or, can you be taught that, or is it something that just happens? Like sometimes I'll be online, I'm like, oh, what is this new app? And I try to like TikTok.
Yeah.
I think I was on it for like 2 months before I'm like, all right, I'm over it. I don't know how this works. And that's the difference, though. If you start out with Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, you're equipped. You know how to work it.
Sure.
You can adapt to any changes. But like maybe something new, like, those old clunker phones to like iPhones that,
Too much.
Yeah. So maybe they just don't know how to adapt.
What have you seen as the biggest problems in real estate currently today?
there's not enough inventory.
No inventory.
Yeah, and especially now, and given, I'm letting my clients know, like my buyers, after the holidays, it's always, or even during like literally the week of Christmas to, let's just say, a week after New Year's, it's going to be a little bit slow. But even before that, COVID and everything like that, it's just been super low inventory, which is making it very hard for buyers. It's hard to encourage them to keep going. I think that's a huge problem right now, is like the feeling of defeat for them.
And they're not used to that.
Yeah, I mean, I have clients who are super active. We're putting in offers on almost every house we see, and it's just, we're being cut out, and it's sad, but we have to try to keep the high energy up and keep it
I feel like you're good
going.
at that.
Yeah.
So how do you keep them invested, right? Because I feel like, so when I got out of mortgages, when I stopped personally doing residential mortgages back in 2017, part of the reason I got out was, for 18 months, I looked at the cycle, right? So like someone's referred to you today. And look, I have people that I still talk to from 2012 that I've never done a deal for that still call me advice, whatever, so on and so forth. And we're like friendly now. But we would pre-approve somebody today for the first time home buyer or whatever. It was about 18 months before they got an offer accepted. Like the cycle went from, hey, usually like 60 to 90 days to, wow, now all of a sudden like 2 or 3 months of work turned into like 18 months of work. Like I can't spend my day updating 100 pre-approvals. I just can't,
Yeah.
Or like you offer 500,000, 505, 510, 5. I'm like, before I know it, an hour went by, I just gave you 7 different pre-approvals, Like I'm not a Word document master, So what do you find, or how do you see that evolving? Like, what's the solution to that?
We need to get more houses on the market.
Is that what it is?
We need more homes. I mean, I don't see the buyers slowing down.
I don't see it either.
Interest rates are still super great.
Yep.
They're taking advantage of that. And then all the New Yorkers that are coming in, all the different boroughs that really want all the things that New Jersey has to offer.
They want New Jersey now,
yeah. Space, land,
Yep.
a place to throw your kids outside and know that they're safe, in eye distance.
Sure.
So I don't see that slowing down. It's really just, and I also have sellers that call me and they're like, all right, well, I'm thinking about selling just because the market's so hot. I also need to buy, and then once we're in that situation, we're getting slammed.
Tough, right?
On the buy side, but the sell side's no problem. It's like a piece of cake. So I'm even seeing a lot of people just selling and renting.
Smart. Yeah, take that transition. Sure.
And then they figure it out in 2 years. What's the market going to be like in 2 years,
Well, that's the thing. I was talking to a realtor recently, and she's like, who the heck was it? It was definitely an older female. I say older, like older than us female. And she's like, yeah, I just sold my house for, I'm giving an example, $700,000. But I can't justify buying this new house for $700,000. And I'm like, I get that. I respect that. Like, you've been in real estate so long. Like, you never thought your house would be worth $700,000, right?
Yeah.
You got $700,000 for it. And now they're like, I can't justify paying this for this house. And I'm like, again, you're right. Like, maybe you should rent. So she's going to rent for, I think she had a year or two. I think a lot of people are making that emotional decision right now. Like, and I think a lot of people are also prematurely selling. I think people say, oh, I can get 700,000. But look, the way this market's going, the way I see it going, rates still being low, and like you said, the additional demand coming in and limited supply, 700 might be 750 come spring.
Yeah.
I've had clients buy houses that were 100,000, under $1 million, 100,000 plus over ask.
Oh yeah. And
I'm like, what? Are you nuts?
If you look on the MLS now, if you can, I don't know. Do you have access?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't want access either.
Yeah. Well, if you look on the MLS now and you just look at, let's say, like Essex and Bergen County, just those two, and you look at the sold and you look at the ratios between what the list price is and what the sold price is, I mean, it's crazy.
Lopsided, right?
It's gaps. And what's even more insane is that we're waiving appraisals to make this happen. So we're not going through the traditional buying process where you go through it nice and easy.
Mortgage contingency, we're protected. Yeah.
No, you're waiving your appraisal, you're waiving your home inspection contingency. How can a buyer feel comfortable? And like,
especially a new buyer.
Exactly. First time home buyers, it's tough. And for me, being a realtor, I've seen dozens of homes and I'm in them all the time. So it's like I can kind of gauge where we stand, but that's me, someone who's gone through the process a bunch of times.
Not the person that just got their license.
Yeah. But a first-time home buyer, it's like, how can you tell them this is what you have to do and make them feel comfortable? You can't. So you just have to go off of what they feel, right? But anyway, if you look on the MLS, just 175, 120, like the gaps are insane.
Crazy.
It's and they're paying out of pocket because
they
of
got
course
the cash.
They're waiving
Sure,
their appraisals.
sure. They have a backup option.
Yeah.
I think again, so we and my partners just launched a lending product because what I like doing is I like seeing the market, and you can't make a knee-jerk reaction to anything in life, and I've been guilty of that sometimes. I've also learned a lot from it. I think everyone has. So I saw the biggest issue being, like you just said, okay, I have a seller who's very qualified to sell to get a substantial amount of profit on their home, but then they need to buy something. So a deal would go into contract to sell, but now they need to rush to buy, but then they go to buy contingent upon selling. And then you're like, well, I have 10 other offers that aren't contingent.
Yeah.
But even though this buyer is the most qualified person, let's say all their equity is tied up or they can't carry both mortgage payments for more than 5 months, whatever. So I literally launched my own private lending program to bridge that gap, right? So we just closed on a deal last night. It was our first deal that we did, believe it or not, 5 days into having the company being existent, where a client has a house in Irvington. It's worth, let's say, they're in contract to sell it for $360,000. They only owe $215,000 on it. So there's $145,000 in equity. Mm-hmm. We gave them $75,000 as a cash advance as a second lien on their property to then fund their down payment on their new home so they don't have to go into contract contingent upon selling. So we wrapped in the payments. We actually wrapped in 2 months payments because it's supposed to close the end of January. So we gave them an extra month of breathing room. They don't owe us anything. We wrapped all the closing costs in. We didn't do an appraisal because I know the area. And they're like, wow, you just closed this deal in 3 calendar days. How'd you do that? I'm like, well, because look, the deal makes sense, we're otherwise, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So we created a product that helps people have one less thing to worry about of, crap, I can't buy my dream home until this current home sells, but people right now, again, there's enough for them to worry about the heightened emotions. They're anxious over everything else other than buying and selling. Why add to that process, But I feel like more people need to take advantage of programs and products like that to make life easier. If your offer is not going to get accepted if you have a contingency to sell to buy, if I'm a realtor, I don't even submit that offer. You're almost setting them up for failure, with the way how hot the market is.
Well, my motto is if you don't throw out a line, you can't catch a fish, right?
Fair.
Is that
yeah,
how
fair.
It goes? I think it is.
Sure.
Steve
I get what you're
actually
saying.
said that. Yeah, but so it's worth a shot to me. I'm not going to ever turn down someone putting in an offer.
You never tell them, I don't think we should submit this.
If it's unreasonable, then maybe, yeah. But it takes me 5 minutes to write up an offer.
Gotcha.
So I could do that on the road. You see me.
You do it right
I
here.
brought my computer with me, So I'm always going to try. It's you never know. Maybe sellers agents are a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they're lying a little bit. Don't have the offers. You just have to expect that they do. But you never know. So I would still put in the offer.
So how many offers do you put in for a client before you're like, all right, I think we should look at another property? Let's say they put in an offer for $500,000, gets denied, or doesn't even get responded to. How high do you go up? How many offers do you put in before you pass on a deal?
Well, at this point, it's going to highest and best within the first 3 days that it's listed or at least being shown. So really, you don't have the chance to go in at one number and hope for a counter. You're going in at the number you feel most comfortable, and if you don't,
how do you navigate that though? Do they ever ask your advice? Hey, what dollar amount should we put an offer in on? How do you? So let's say I want to buy this house, and I say it's listed for $500,000. I'll pay $500,000, right? And you need a highest and best. How do you come in as a realtor, as the expert, and say, well, here's what I think we should offer? How do you do that?
Well, you just have to look at the sold comps, and obviously most recent sold comps, because comps from early last year aren't going to depict what
not even worthy data anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So you really have to look within the most recent solds and the most comparable, style, location, square footage, and base it off of that. But and hopefully that number would still make sense for the buyer. I think it's a little bit different for people too. If you plan to stay in a home for a really long time,
Mm-hmm.
then that number, you may feel more comfortable going in at a higher number.
Sure.
But if you have the intention on, this is your first home, you only plan to live here for 5 years, it may not make the most sense to go to your cap, right? And then of course, like 2-family homes, and when you get into multifamilies, the numbers need to make sense, because at the end of the day, if you're
Sure.
not making anything off the property, what's the point?
Yeah, nothing.
And that's really tough right now. Multifamilies have always been hot, but now even more. So they're just flying like hotcakes, and for a ridiculous amount of money.
Are buyers being reasonable of like changing their wants and needs up? Like, let's say somebody starts off and says, I want this town and this price point. Are they then saying, okay, you know what? I'll go to the town over and raise the price point. Or, you know what? I'll go to a town over, sacrifice the schools and get a lower price point. What are you seeing in that regard? Like, how adaptable are buyers right now?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what their situation is. If they have young kids, then school system is number one for them, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that they would compromise on that. Location is, I have a client that's specifically, a couple clients that are specifically looking in just 3 areas or 4 areas, so that makes it a little bit more trying, because
They're essentially competing with each other.
yeah, and they're different towns and different areas, whatever. But, and then I have other clients who are looking in dozens of areas and a few different counties, which is great because it leaves our options very wide and a lot more opportunities. But I think it all depends on the people, on the family, and on the current situation. If they could compromise for a bedroom, fine. If they can compromise on a garage and just get a 4-car driveway,
Sure.
maybe that works,
Sure.
But it all depends.
Now, do most people come in with their fixed mindset and then it's your job to like slowly, bring them to reality? Or what are you seeing in that? Because again, I think mindset is everything in life, but especially when buying and selling a home, right? So someone's buying a home, they never bought a home before. They come in with this mindset off of YouTube or they hear a podcast, right? And they're like, here's what we're going to do. How is it kind of molding them to like what reality is?
Yeah. So when I get buyer lead calls, first thing I do is I'll kind of run through with them, what are you looking for? Are you familiar with these areas? Have you been here at all? What's your price point? And what exactly are you looking for? Like move-in ready? Are you okay with doing a little bit of cosmetic work? And kind of gauge it that way. And once I know the budget and where they're looking and why they're looking in those areas, and for the most part it's city transportation, I'll then send them lists of a bunch of counties, a bunch of areas, and some websites that will help them navigate the towns. Like as a realtor, there's certain things you can't really discuss,
Sure.
like school systems
Yep.
and all that.
Yep.
So I give them the resources to do their own due diligence.
Which
and
people
find
like.
out.
People
Yeah,
love that stuff.
of course. So from there, they'll then tell me, okay, I really like these few towns. I'm like, all right, great. So what I want you to do, I'm giving you homework. I want you to first come to New Jersey or come to these areas.
Sure.
And drive around, see what you like, see what you don't like, kind of get a feel for the areas, go out to lunch, And then from there, I'll send you property lists of the areas that you like in your budget, and you can then see what's out there.
So do you think every realtor should have a background in education and social work? Because I feel like that's kind of giving you like the, pre-season of what real estate is, because you need to be a therapist and you also need to be able to educate and like kind of motivate them to your understanding of experience, right? I feel like that's kind of really giving you what your strength is, that background.
I don't know. I never looked at it that way, to be honest. And it's nice though that you're acknowledging that in me. It's cool. I don't know.
You can't just go out there and be like, hey, yeah, like, oh, you should buy this house. Like, I feel like, because background, I started in mortgages in December 2007. I was about to turn 21. I was in the Bronx, New York, white boy in a suit and tie, like not knowing anything, right? And I knew nothing, right? So I've adapted to had a whole could always hold conversations, but I didn't have product knowledge. I didn't have like real life business experience, right? And dealing with realtors, like it's hit or miss, as you know. Like a lot of people can't hold conversations. They can't communicate. They don't know what they're doing. Like, hey, sell this property for $1 million, meanwhile it's worth $700,000, whatever, right? So most realtors, successful realtors from my experience, have come from a different background or level of training, right? Like whether you were a teacher or whether you were a cop or whether you had another career in corporate world and like they came into real estate because it was their passion, became great at it, or they like came in and didn't get taught like certain ways to conduct business, which obviously, hurts the process overall. So like, I wonder if there's a correlation between like successful realtors, right? Because I've dealt with 10,000 of them at this point, and their prior background versus them just like getting into it and never being taught properly.
Yeah. Well, I think too, a lot of people look at realtors and think negatively about us.
Bad experiences.
Yeah. And if there's a realtor that's not passionate or isn't, and I'm not knocking anybody, but if you're not passionate about selling homes and viewing homes and the love for the character and, all the different styles and shapes and sizes of all the different houses, it's really a passion. And if you don't have that, it's tough to sell that.
Sure.
Like if you went to college, you must be did you like numbers to be a mortgage guy?
No, I went to college for football. Yeah, so completely different.
Yeah. But
I did always like numbers for sure.
Okay,
yeah.
Well there you go.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm not a numbers person.
Yeah.
I could never be a mortgage lender.
But that's a big. So I've got that for 13 plus years now. I'll go 14 years, right? Of numbers, mortgages. Like I hate bursting this bubble, and like there's probably gonna be 500 people that watch this that are gonna like sign up to be mortgage people now to like debunk this myth. The calculator does everything for you,
yeah,
you know.
Does,
I know like common numbers,
database.
like $1 million, 3.5%, 35,000. I could do basic numbers like math like that, but at the end of the day, you plug into a computer and it tells you everything. So like you really don't need to know numbers in order to do mortgages. Maybe to have a conversation, but that's a big myth. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a myth. You blew it for me. But I don't know. My intention was to not ever be in real estate. I didn't know that
you
it
said
would
your
be
mother
a passion.
has been in real estate.
Yeah.
Did you like that growing up, like watching her like hustle?
Yeah, well, she took me on appointments with her all the time, and not because she wanted to. I think because she didn't have anyone to watch me. But
True.
I went to some showings with her, and I don't know. I was a kid.
Is she still active?
Yeah, she joined me at Star Real Estate now.
She works for you now?
Well, she works with me. But she was at Coldwell Banker for forever. And so I remember going to the office and filing things for anybody that worked there and organizing her desk, even though she hated it, But yeah, I guess it was always I was always a part of it, But yeah, I wish I found it sooner. I wish I opened up that door sooner because it really is.
Yeah, but every year you're probably doing more business and getting better and better at it, right?
Yeah.
So give me your numbers for last year. I see you posted something that you had like a record year.
This year, yeah. So
awesome.
My first full year I did bronze. Second full year I did silver. And
what are the requirements for those levels so everyone knows like what that means? 'Cause otherwise they're thinking these like colors.
Well, I don't really know exact numbers. All I know this year, gold is 12 million with 30 plus units, and then silver, well, I don't know.
How many did you close?
How many homes?
Yeah, how many?
27 homes, and then a whole bunch of rentals.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So best earning year ever, best deals ever.
Yeah, it feels good for me. It's like a personal achievement.
Huge.
I think.
Right. The average realtor does a deal a year.
That was another thing on my vision board, getting gold, and I did it.
We gotta get like a gold gangster necklace.
Yeah. Here you
Realtor,
go.
big R. Yeah.
Yeah. I have the R on my ankle.
There you go.
Tattoo.
There you go. Do you actually or no?
Yeah.
Like the Realtor logo?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
The R.
Yeah, you don't.
I do.
The Realtor logo.
Yes.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, committed, 100%.
Wow, that's official.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so it was a really good year for me. I feel really good about it, and next year I hope to do better.
This year, no.
This year, oh yeah, this year.
So how do you build on them? I guess the biggest thing that I could say is like, I've learned personally, like people get caught up in numbers, right? Like, hey, I did 27 units for whatever, $15 million, right? This year I need to do 28 units for 15.5 million or whatever the number comes out to, right? How do you build on that? Because obviously you're coming off a great year, like a record year. How do you do that again?
Well, so I don't like putting tons of pressure on myself.
I think the opposite. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that me going about life just nice and easy and just kind of enjoying the ride is more fun than
I agree.
thinking to myself, okay, I did 27 deals this year. I have to do 30 the next, in 2021. I don't want to put that pressure on myself because I want to enjoy it. And that's like the main thing for me is that I enjoy what I do. And I think if I start giving myself too much pressure and expectations, like high expectations, that it's not going to be fun for me anymore. It's
remove the fun from it.
Yeah, it's going to be more pressure. And I like what I do now.
So what parts of New Jersey do you cover?
I'm in Bergen, Essex, Hudson, Morris, Middlesex, Somerset, Sussex. I'm pretty much everywhere.
So you're in, like central all the way up north.
Yeah. So goal for me is just to work as hard as I can now in as many different areas as I could possibly cover and have knowledge on, and then in due time, when I get a little bit older and want to settle down.
Because you're only 29, right?
I'm 29. Is that old?
No,
I don't know.
Baby, like,
okay.
My God. I had a great year at 29. I liked being 29.
Yeah, 29 is great. I don't know. 30 just feels very daunting.
Wait till like 40 is your next step. Then you're going to be like,
That's
30 is still
scary.
young. 30 is still baby like.
See, 40 is pressure. That's giving me a little bit of pressure.
Yeah. You got 11 years for that.
Yeah. But, so I think when I get a little bit older, then I'll hone in on more select areas and maybe areas that I don't want to drive 45 minutes to. But right now, I'm cool. I'm enjoying it. I like to drive, clearly. And it's my peace during the day. And
so do you like put the windows down and rock out the music? Or do you? I definitely see you being that.
Sometimes, but in the summer, probably.
Yeah.
But it's also a place where I could get calls done.
Sure.
And catch up on all
Best
these,
place to do it.
email leads that I've gotten. I just call, So funny enough, and my friend Jackie laughs at me all the time because she plays all this music. She's like, what music do you like? I'm like, I don't know. I just like any music. Just play whatever. And
Occupy my mind.
Yeah. And then she's like, what music do you listen to in the car? I'm like, well, sometimes I just don't listen to anything in the car. She's like, what is wrong with you? But honestly, it's peaceful.
Sure. Get quiet.
But then there's times where, I do rock out and I listen to 104.3. That's my jam. I like classic rock radio.
All right.
But it all depends on my mood on the day and how I'm feeling. And that's how I kind of, justify, do I feel like jamming out or do I want to chill?
So most people love their weekends, right? And as you know, in residential real estate, those are your busiest times. So like your Saturdays and Sundays are full swing probably, most likely, right?
Yeah.
Do you then supplement a couple days during the week as like your personal downtime to get done what you have to get done, or do you kind of incorporate that into your everyday schedule? Most people think residential real estate is, again, 9 to 5. Nope. It's not. It's the opposite. It's actually like 5 to 10 and then Saturdays and Sundays.
It's all
24/7
every day. Yeah. Weekends are usually very busy. It's honestly with COVID, not being able to have open houses on the weekends for that time that we weren't allowed to, it was weird. But it was also kind of nice because I did have my weekends. But pretty much real estate, you're working every day, all day, weekends included. And a lot of people don't want to give that up. And some agents don't. Some agents are like, nope, Saturday, Sunday is my family day. That's cool. But it's just not feasible for me right now. Clients work. Clients are coming from the city. Clients are coming from anywhere. So you really need to adjust your schedule to kind of accommodate them in a sense. So you're at their
You're always
mercy.
saying yes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then during the week, I would say beginning of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, is more of a low-key lax couple days just because, people are now coming back from their weekend, going back to their work week. So there's always a lot of emails and a lot of follow-up to do on those days. So I don't find myself always having appointments on the first couple days of the week, but more so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll book up.
So are you a planner? Like, do you need everything structured and planned?
Oh, yeah.
But residential real estate isn't that at all. You get like
No.
blindsided left and right. How do
Yeah.
you adapt to that? It's like you set your structure. Like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym at 9. I'm going to show this property at 11. And at 1, I'm going to get my nails done. And then someone calls you up, hey, come look at this house I want to sell at 9. And then 11 o'clock comes, you do your showing, but then like, you have to run and like meet a client for pizza because they're thinking about building a new property. How do
Yeah.
you manage all those like interchangeables?
Well, so if I have something, so I put everything in my notes on my phone, and notes are huge for me. I'll never forget anything if it's in my notes. So I'm usually like a week ahead planned with everything. So if I have the gym at 5:45 at night, I'm most likely going to keep that appointment, right? That's to me an appointment for myself. If I have my nails done at 4, I'm keeping that appointment. So I'll work clients around it, and by the end of the week, everything's worked out. I've done everything I need to do. I've shown all the homes I needed to show. I've taken all the pictures, gone to all the appraisals, done the listing appointments. I've done everything I needed to do, and it works out. And if I can't, then I can't. There's only one of me.
Sure.
So
it's like a big sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's hard to balance personal and business, but you learn to do it. So that's just what I do. And if I can't schedule to get my nails done one week, then I'll just wait a week.
So 2021, what's on your vision board? What do you expect out of yourself? What do you see happening for yourself personally and business-wise in 2021?
Well, I've definitely accomplished a lot of my vision board goals, as we talked about before, for 2020, and I feel really good about it. I have a big announcement to make on Friday, and I'm really excited. It's something I worked really hard for, and so I'm thrilled. 2021, honestly, I'm making my vision board on Friday, and I've set time aside for that. It's in the schedule.
How much time?
I'll probably just need an hour for it.
Before and after the announcement?
Oh, it doesn't coincide. It's just all.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, whenever I get to it.
All right.
That one doesn't have a time.
Okay.
2021. What's my plan? Just to work hard, do good, be kind, be happy.
That's like a very underrated thing in real estate is being kind. I feel like there's not much kindness in real estate at all on any side.
Yeah, and it kill them with kindness. If someone's not being friendly, if someone's not being nice, I'm 10 times.
Do you ever get worked up?
Sometimes.
Over what?
Attitude. It's hard to gauge people in email.
Tone, tone comes across very different.
Yeah, and very formal.
Sure.
And I'm like a person that uses a lot of exclamation marks in my emails.
Right.
And
Is she yelling at me or is she happy at me?
I know. Yeah, but like that's how I show my enthusiasm
Sure.
is in text or email. I want you to know that I'm saying it excitedly. I'm not saying it boring.
Right.
I'm happy.
Hey, let's get this deal done. 10 exclamation marks. Like, stop pushing me. It's like, no. Like, this is teamwork.
Yeah. But
most older people aren't like that, though. Like, our generation is not like 50 and up.
Yeah.
They still have AOL email addresses.
Yeah. And you got to take that with a grain of salt, I think, but I think the agents that are just to the core, just not friendly, don't want to be nice. I don't know how they do it.
So what gets you worked up? Like, what are like your triggers? There's
Not
got to be
answering me.
If
that
you don't pisses you off.
That pisses me off because
How much
I'm
time?
trying to
How much time
plan.
do you give that? Like, what's your response time allocated?
I want you to answer me in
5
5
seconds.
minutes.
Yeah.
No. But if they don't reach back or give me a response within like 2 hours.
I see like you putting your foot down, like stomping like your foot, like, all right, enough
well,
now.
I'm just like, hey, any word on my showing request? Because it kind of messes with your schedule if they're not responding in a timely manner. I get it. People
now you got
are
your
busy.
clients hounding you and everything else.
Yeah, and there's only so much you can do. But I think that's probably something that bothers me the most. It irks me is when people are just not responsive.
What's your best story or most rewarding story from a transaction in real estate? And then what's your worst, most painful, like ugly story that you've experienced in real estate?
Best story. There's so many.
Oh man, well, give us one. What do you got?
Well, my best story.
What's put the biggest smile on your face from one transaction in real estate?
Oh man, I'll tell you this.
Here we go.
one.
Here we go. We're getting it.
I cried actually. Okay, so was that
You don't look like a crier either.
sometimes
All
I'm
right.
more of an emotional, like happy crier.
Mhm.
Like those
I get it.
Facebook
get
videos
it.
where people come home from the war
Yeah.
and like surprise their family.
It's
I
the
cry.
music too that they play in the background.
Okay, so best story, and I hope they listen because it's really cute. So we were
Well,
on a
you'll send them the video and be like, tune
Yeah.
in at like 51 minutes and 10
Yeah.
seconds. This is for you.
so doing a walkthrough on a 2-family in Lyndhurst, and it was a mom purchasing with her son and the son's wife. They're gonna live in the 2-family together, and we're doing the walkthrough, and then the husband and the wife pull everybody into the back room of the house, and they're like, you know what this room's gonna be? And I'm just like, I could start crying thinking about it now because they're like, she's pregnant. Oh my God, I blew a gasket. I started bawling. I needed to leave the room because I felt so happy and filled with
that's
joy.
awesome.
I didn't want to take away from like the
Sure,
family.
sure.
But man, that was the best thing.
So you felt that. Like that was like
Oh, yeah.
heartfelt, like rewarding, just everything.
Yeah. It's like you felt so comfortable around me to allow me to be involved in that situation. And it's such a touching moment, and it's just really heartfelt. Honestly, I could cry thinking about it.
I
It
think
made me
again,
so
like that's
happy.
like the difference between being like relationship driven versus transactional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're looking at it as, wow, like they let me in this part of their life, whereas most people are like, let's just get the offer accepted. Like, are we done with the home inspection? Are we done with the walkthrough yet? Like, all right, you're pregnant, congratulations, see you later. Whereas you're like, this is the best story I have in real estate.
Yeah. I was a part of it, and it was really special.
So what
And
about the
it's
opposite
cute.
then?
Okay,
For
so
negative.
worst. Oh man.
Here we go.
okay.
Oh my God, we're pulling it all out.
Well, I don't want to say it.
You want to use names? You don't have to use names.
No, I wouldn't use names. Okay, I was selling a house.
You're the listing agent.
I was the listing agent, and I don't know if I should really even talk about it, because it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah.
It's 2021, so you gotta do it.
Yeah, gotta say yes or. So it was this guy. He was selling a house, and I had Steve come with me on the listing appointment because the phone call was a little bit weird.
Like
so,
sketchy.
Yeah, a little sketchy. Introduced himself with a different name. So we went to the house. I had my pepper spray hanging out of my pocket. Steve was like, "Put that away." I'm like, "Oh God, okay." So we meet the person, and turns out he's like a old ball player, we could just say. And so went through the transaction. Things were great. Sometimes he'd say a couple weird things to me. I just bypass
Like
it.
inappropriate. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so now we're like midway through the transaction. Everything's going smoothly. And then we get like 3/4 of the way through, and things just start getting really uncomfortable for me. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm stepping away from this. And I let Steven handle the rest of the transaction. I just felt super uncomfortable. And I then understood kind of how women are treated differently as realtors in the real estate business. And it wasn't a good feeling. And I don't want to ever have to go through that again. I don't want any woman to go through any type of like
It's not good. Keep
negative,
business.
yeah.
Sure.
So that was a little difficult for me to swallow. And then I kind of like stayed on top of him just to make sure like he wasn't bad talking me in any like interviews that he was doing. And it was more so just nervousness. I didn't want a bad name or anything for stepping away. But ultimately, I stepped away for a reason. And
I think that's a bigger problem in society in general, right? Like, again, like, look, at the end of the day, and I say it like respectfully, like boys will be boys, right? But boys need to know when not to be boys, right? With that being said, if you put yourself out there as like a pretty presentable female, like that almost, not saying it's right, it almost comes with the territory, again, like the old day and age where like the pretty female realtor, like the stay-at-home mom realtor, right? That's what it was back in the 80s. In the 90s, men were in banking, women were in real estate, so you put out their pretty picture, a guy's like, man, this is open territory, like I'm gonna have her come sell my house, but like he's giving you the deal maybe not because you're the best agent, but because you're pretty, thinking that there's something else after the closing, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
So I think that's a bigger issue in society in general. But like, what are your solutions to prevent that? Like, you don't come off as that person as like you're not going to play that bullshit with them. You know, you're going to be like either reply nothing or like you said, remove yourself from the transaction. But I find like most women would kind of like entertain that until the deal closes.
Yeah. No. I'm pretty straightforward. I mean, if you follow my Instagram, I'm not showy. I don't perceive anything else that I'm not.
Yeah, I get it.
You know,
Yep.
I like when people say to me, you look just like your pictures on Instagram. It makes me feel good.
Not your picture from 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just real. I'm just true. I'm who I am. And I get weird calls and weird messages often, and it's uncomfortable. But I'm fortunate enough where I have a boyfriend in real estate who I could take with me on the initial meetings.
Sure.
And feel more comfortable. And then I'm also setting that line
Up front.
Yeah, that, nope, this is strictly business, nothing else, and hopefully people understand that. And I think some people don't get it and they still continue to try and try. But there comes a point where it's like, if you're continuously doing that, I'm just going to not work with you. I want to feel
You can
comfortable.
walk away. Sure. Sure.
And if I don't feel comfortable and if things make me, feel weird, then I'm just going to move on.
Interesting.
And I could do that.
So do you and your boyfriend work as a team in real estate? You kind of do your own thing?
We used to. That's how in the beginning when he was at Star Real Estate, Star Real Estate's his family company.
Oh, okay.
And then he actually left and he went to EXP Realty. So I pretty much...
So you're going to EXP?
No.
That's not the announcement?
No, I'm very comfortable, very happy at Star Real Estate.
Do you like being in a small mom and pop shop opposed
do.
to like a bigger brokerage?
Yeah. It's just easy.
Is it because you're a star?
Yes.
Is that it? Yeah, like, yeah, I'm the star.
It's just easy for me, and I really like it. It's comfort, I think. And people say you have to get out of your comfort zone, but I think if that varies.
Look, if you're happy, you're treated fairly. Like I don't believe any brokerage can make a person. I think it can break a person, but like if you're successful and the brokerage is there to support you when you need it, you're on a fair split. Like, why move? I look at it as like if I was in real estate ever, which I probably never will be, I would go to a no-name company or just have my own company, so I don't have that competition, right? Because everyone's out there. Hey, I'm a Keller, I'm a Coldwell Banker, I'm at EXP. Well, odds are somebody messed up that reputation or brand because it's a big mass brand,
big
right?
Corporate company.
On your own, you're like, hey, I'm at a mom and pop shop, family-owned business, been around for X amount of years. I'm Rachel from Star. You know, I think it's actually like more of an integrity thing at that point.
And also, it's not just about the brand; it's the person.
Completely.
Completely. And I think it's more so that the logo and the branding and all that is one thing. Like some people prefer that, and I get that. Some people don't want a smaller mom and pop shop, but me, I think you're choosing me as your realtor. You're not choosing my company, and I think with that mindset, you're good.
So do you guys like compete internally, like who does more deals or
no.
None of that?
No.
You guys like don't talk shit to each other at all?
No. Yeah. So we started off as friends at Star, and then he helped me a lot with social
Is he older?
media. No, he's 29.
Oh,
he's
same age.
He helped me a lot with social media, getting on my feet. This is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. And he was the one that really pushed social media for me. And he's like, just get on it, start doing it, post every day. And that's what I do. And it's been super successful. But it's nice having someone to like, a lot of people don't like being in the same kind of business or working together with your significant other because it could be stressful.
Sure. Spend a lot of time together, whatever. But it sounds like you guys understand each other.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, they get the hours and everything else.
Yeah, and you can lay in bed and I could tell him about a transaction falling through and he'll understand.
He's not rolling his eyes or turning the volume up.
Yeah, he gets it, and that's nice where we can talk about our jobs and understand it completely.
Sure. Sure.
There's always something.
So you have a dog?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about the dog.
Remy Martin.
That's like your sidekick?
He's Remy, your realtor on Instagram.
Licensed or unlicensed?
Unlicensed puppy house hunter.
All right.
No, but we call him the closer. He's literally my best friend. I love him so much. I take him on as many appointments as I can. I never take him inside. Some people think that I do. He's usually always in the car. I'll let him like roam around outside a little bit if the home's vacant.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to ruin anybody's
Front
lawn.
lawn, yeah.
But yeah, he's my buddy. He just turned 4, end of the year, and yeah.
So like when you go home at the end of the, well, he's with you all day, I'm guessing?
Sometimes, not always. Depends where I'm at.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But they say like when you go home to a dog, it like makes you feel better. You forget about everything else. Is that kind of how it is? Like he's like there waiting for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, he gets so excited when we come home. I mean, he runs up to me directly and just wants to be pet and loved, and then runs around and jumps. It's so cute. He's just so lovable, and he's so big.
Interesting. So you gonna get another dog, or it's just one and done?
No, yeah. I mean, right now I think we're content. We have a lot on our plates.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So goals, give me like where you're gonna be in next year, next 3 years, next 5 years. So then we could watch this a year, 3 years, 5 years from now, and like reference it back.
Okay, so
No pressure.
thanks. 1 year. Where do I plan to be in 1 year? I mean, I don't know. 3 years, 5 years.
Like, do you ever see yourself having your own brokerage one day?
Do I want to? Maybe. I mean, that's something that I've kind of juggled with. You know, do I want that responsibility, or am I really just enjoying where I'm at solely? I'm not sure. Yeah.
No goals, 3 years, 5
I
years?
don't know. It's hard. I mean, I said before, it's like I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I mean, I definitely want to own a couple multifamilies.
Okay. The lady landlord. I could see
Mm-hmm.
it. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you like development at all, or not really? Like building a house or?
I think that'd be cool. Maybe to do some flips down
Cool.
the line.
Cool.
I'd be open to that.
Yeah.
I think the process is really cool. I had a client that built a home.
I think you
in the
you're
very-
posting it, right?
Yeah, in the very beginning, and that was pretty awesome.
Sea Caucus? No.
No, it was Somerset.
Somerset.
And that was like really exciting. So that would be something I'd be into, but 5-year plan maybe.
Have you ever dabbled in commercial at all, or not really?
Yeah, a little bit. I've done one commercial deal in one lease, and
It's a whole different ball game.
yeah, it was just so interesting, so different.
Yeah. It's more challenging.
Yeah, but
Different challenging.
yeah, and it was in the beginning of my career, so I didn't really know exactly,
Sure.
what to do,
Sure.
but I went with it and it worked. And it was actually an old friend of mine who reached out to me
Oh, cool.
that needed the spot for his company, so it worked out well.
See, that's what's nice, right? So, like, when you're in your 20s, like, the majority of people our age or when you started weren't really into that buying homes, investing real estate. So I always say, like, if you're able to succeed or make it in your 20s, by the time you turn, like, 30 to, like, let's say 60, you should be busier than ever because everyone you know, right, is going to be your clientele, right?
Like referrals.
Right.
And
So
all that.
when I started, like I was doing mortgage for people that were 20, 30, 40 years older than me. And like my immediate sphere of influence, if you will, they weren't my product, right? They weren't really coming to me because they were living at home in their parents' basement or they were
Yeah.
in grad school or they were renting in Manhattan. But like once you hit 30, it's kind of like everyone's on the same playing field. And now they're going to come to you because they know you've been doing this for so long and they think of you as like that go-to person. So it's cool to like watch that evolution happen where like you're able to develop your own business organically, but everyone's watching you develop it with strangers. And then when they're ready, like you're their only thought, you know? So it's cool watching that.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think even when I first started in real estate, I didn't have many friends trying to buy or sell
Sure.
but I'm seeing now it's happening.
Sure.
I'm having a lot more high school friends reach out to me, which is nice. And I it's like a comfort thing.
Sure.
I even and that's even more enjoyable because you get to go through the process with someone like you grew up with, which is super fun.
Sure. What's your advice for women that want to get into real estate, and then what's your advice for new people that get into real estate?
Advice for women just getting into real estate. I would say just be true to you. Don't scroll on social media and click realtors pages and think that putting yourself out there and any explicit way or anything like that is going to get you more business.
Right.
Like what I stand by is like, I want a wife to call me and I want a husband to call me. I want them both to feel comfortable to call me and work with me. You know, I don't want like someone to find me on Instagram and then his wife be like, well, what the heck, you know?
Yeah, what's you wearing that for?
Yeah. I don't post any pictures of drinking. I mean, not like I drink really much at all, but like I'm solely
Keep it very clean.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
And I think
It's a very comfortable brand.
that will get you further than being showy or being flashy and just kind of putting
Sure.
yourself out there in a negative way. But I mean, that's just me. And also what you put out there is what you're going to bring back in,
Sure.
you know? So just be careful and be very cautious. Pepper spray. I know it's
Load it up
silly,
on it, yeah.
but like have it.
You have it on you now?
It's in my purse. Yeah. I didn't think I'd need it, but
You don't
just
worry.
in case. No. And don't do showings at night, especially. And also, don't wear a dress or a skirt at night if you're doing showings. Just wear pants,
Fair.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just be safe.
Keep it safe. And what about advice to somebody that's brand new that either just got their license or is getting their license right now? Where do you start?
Keep going. Don't give up. Don't let people try to tear you down or tell you you're not good enough. Definitely just want to keep the ball rolling and keep trying your hardest to put yourself out there and make those phone calls, send those mailers. No matter how many times you get turned down, just keep doing it.
I think that's like the biggest deposit that you could have had.
Oh,
That's
there
like
you go.
the deposit that, right? Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, keep going. My deposit that. Are we ready for the?
I'm ready.
deposit
Oh,
that?
you've been thinking about this.
Oh, yeah.
You planned this all along? All right, what do you got?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on one sec.
You're not thinking about it, are you? You can't change it up.
No. So someone said this to me in my first year of real estate because I was scrolling on Instagram, on Facebook, and I was getting really down. I'm like, why can't I just be like them? You know, and they were like, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle and your middle to someone else's ending. And I think that resonates a lot, especially with real estate. Because you can scroll on Instagram like I do often, and you can
Are you a
see
scroller?
someone. Yeah, sometimes at night.
Guilty. We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, of course. But you scroll at night and you see, agents that have been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years. They're killing it, and I'm here on 4 years and I think I'm killing it.
Yep.
But, you can easily disencourage yourself by comparing and always looking at someone else's page and what they're doing and what you're not or what you could be doing. So I think it's just important to focus on you. Try not to look at everybody else's, where they are.
Look, I think that's great. I think there's a lot of external pressure out there, and it's very easy. So if you pick like 10 realtors you follow, my advice would be find everything you like about this person, right? Write it down. Find everything you don't like this person's doing, write it down. With 10 people that you think you may want to be like, right? Like, I like this post, I like this content. I don't like that they post this. I don't like their opinion on this. Like, so maybe you don't be political or whatever it might be. And then you have, let's say, 100 things you like, 100 things you don't like, and then figure out the most important ones to you. Because it's easy to look at, oh, wow, this person just sold 7 properties, but maybe they did no deals last year. Or maybe they're lying. Maybe they didn't even sell those properties. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think, like you said, staying true to yourself is the most important thing. And again, in my opinion, Instagram, unfortunately, and social media breeds a lot of insecurity in people.
Oh, yeah.
But what I can tell you is, like, if you know deep down you're working your ass off, right? And you might have not seen the results yet, they're coming. You just got to stay focused on that, And I think a lot of people, like you said, say, this is your beginning. You're comparing it to somebody who's been in the business 15 years. Like, no right mind should you even be, having that thought process because they have, what is that? 180-month head start on you.
There you go.
You just got to focus on what works for you. And again, to encourage the younger generations that are getting in, I feel like the world has changed so much in general. forget the past 10 years. Like 10 years ago, I was sending, messages from a BlackBerry, and people were like, why are you sending emails after 7 p.m.? Now, like, it's normal, right?
Now it's like 11 p.m.,
Nonstop text,
Yeah.
and now it's text messaging. When I was saying text in 2011, 2012, I was getting like, that's not professional text. Now most people want to communicate that way. So, it's nice that it's kind of like everything with COVID has been reset. Like there's no right, there's no wrong. It's what works for you. And if you're just getting into the business now, like you got to formulate your own system that works for you, not what works for your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, the legend, the hero in the industry, or that did it 20 years ago. Formulate what works for you, and then that might be what becomes a norm for the entire industry. So hopefully that gives people a lot of like motivation, inspiration to pretty much like write their own story from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. Staying true.
So,
Stay true to you.
So I appreciate you coming on. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
in for 2021. And hopefully everybody enjoyed, the kickoff. Hopefully everyone watches it. Obviously follow you on Instagram at what?
Rachel, your realtor. Or is it MJ? Rachel, your realtor, I think.
Okay.
Rachel, your realtor
We'll post it like right
Yeah.
here. Like if you're watching the video, like here's the, we'll have
Yeah.
we'll have it edited in.
Yeah.
But for any of your northern central New Jersey needs, she's your girl, and I enjoyed the show.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks so
it.
much.